Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am going to just jump right in for week two's lesson here. Um, so today, let's see, we're gonna go ahead and talk about meetings, creating meetings, hosting meetings, developing meetings agenda, and the whole process from beginning to end of hosting meetings effectively to get people to really respect your time, respect sort of the content of the meeting, and makes the most out of the meeting time that you guys have together. And then also talk about ads. And then I will assign an advertising assignment. And I do want to actually go over something that I discovered within the past week, and it's kind of related to a past assignment that we had done, the email assignment. And it's really interesting because it just came at the exact same time where I was experimenting with this ChatGPT AI and assigned that email assignment last week for you guys. So I want to go ahead and kind of tinker around with that and give you some thoughts and ideas of how I use that to actually craft an email and things of that nature. So, and then some other things that I've done that have been experimenting with it. So, if you haven't heard about it, it might be interesting for you to experiment with that too. It's totally a free tool. So, since we're kind of just on that, I'll just go ahead and get started with that really quick. I'll go ahead and share. Okay, so um, let me go ahead and first go to Chat GPT. So it's called chat.openai.com. Uh, and then log in. Then you'll actually create an email address. All right. Let's see. Oh, cancel it. Okay, let's try again. Okay. All right. All right, so ChatGPT is an AI platform, and it's basically like what's called a language modeler. So they teach the AI like the English language. I'm not sure if they teach any other languages to the software, but what it does is it takes the language that it knows and reinterprets it to either answer questions or craft language for you on your behalf. This is seriously tied into marketing communications for sure, because you can tell ChatGPT to like write an email, for instance, like just like that last assignment that we had had. So, as you can remember, that last assignment I told you guys, if you get a nasty email from someone internally, you can essentially just kind of ignore what it really is saying to you and just reach out to the person in a very reasonable way to say, let's talk more about this in person to get that conversation done in person. However, with ChatGPT, you might not be able to have to expose yourself too much to any negative emails from people and then just depend on the AI to do it for you. Now, with our last email example, I never really actually ran it through ChatGPT to answer that email in response to it, but I will kind of in this lesson plan. We'll see how it goes. So one of the things that I've used ChatGPT for is to create a to-do list out of an email. So a lot of times you might get an email that has a lot of steps for you to take inside of the email. And instead of reading through the email, it might make more sense to create a to-do list out of it. So one of the things I actually did this past week um, is got an email. So here's one email. And it says it's from my supervisor, and there's steps here about what to do to update a piece of content that we are working on for marketing, and it's just kind of in this sentence style, just like an email style. So I think we should remove the year 2023. That is not needed. Typically, we add the day of the week to our materials, thinking we leave it off because of the room. I would like to see this again. I also almost want to take the copy down to 8 point and give more white space thoughts. So actually, I'm going to copy this and then go into ChatGPT and say, make a to-do list out of this email. And then I'll hit colon. There's no like real specific way to do this. You just kind of the software, the AI will actually, the AI software, I guess, will actually just read through what you're asking and interpret it in a really accurate way. So I'm going to paste this in and then hit return. And then now it's converting this to-do list for me. Okay, so now I can kind of very simply look at this to-do list and then reinterpret it from there. Go through this steps, check, 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 and then be done with it. Another thing that I used this for last week was to craft actually like a social media response to a post. So as I'm the social media manager here at Midstate, let me go ahead and log in here. Gosh. All right, I went ahead, friend suggestion, we have 7 posts. Okay. We had a new message. So this might have been what I responded to. Oh. Okay. Here's actually one that I didn't respond to, a message here to the Midstate page. I would like to see if there is a way to promote my spouse and I travel website to the students for their travel needs. Well, I'm gonna have to say no to that because there really is no way for us to promote unless this person decided to make this into a form of a continuing education class. So I could say to ChatGPT, please respond to this Facebook message and let this person know that it is not possible to allow for this in a positive way. Let's see what comes up here. Now, sometimes this can get tripped up, but sometimes it does craft things pretty well. See how it goes. So there, this is just a response. I'm just going to look through it and proofread it and say that that is good. So I'm going to copy, paste, and then send. So there's been a lot of comments on Facebook and things like that on the Facebook page. And, you know, as me, as a person that does a lot of different things, I'll do a lot of designs, go to a lot of meetings, teaching this course, doing this and that. I can't always, you know, put 100% of my effort and my brain power into every single thing that I touch. However, I can do a very basic auto-generated message using this software and proofread it to make sure that it's accurate and tell it what I essentially want it to say, but not have to worry about checking my own spelling in it and everything else. This is a great spell checker as well. Here's another example of how I used it last week. So here's a request from a person internally for a promotion of a course that we are offering here at Midstate. So it says, "Hey, Andrew or Brooke, I'm wondering if you could post this cookie picture with a link to our cookie decorating basics class, on our socials, and state something like there is still spots available to join our cookie decorating basics class with instructor Kelly Lawler on 3/15/23 at our Adams campus." And then a catchy tagline with luck in it, or to highlight the theme that participants will be decorating St. Patty's Day themed cookies. All right, so let me just copy this. Go ahead in here and say, please do the following. See what that'll do. I'm unable to post anything on social media platforms as I am a text-based AI. However, I can suggest a message that you can post on your social media platforms. Calling all cookie enthusiasts, are you ready to take your decorating skills to the next level? Join our cookie decorating basics class with instructor Kelly Lawler on 3 blah blah at our Adams campus. There are still spots available. Learn how to decorate St. Patrick's Day's themed cookies like a pro. Lucky you! Sign up for a class. Insert link to class registration here, and it gives you all these hashtags as well, which is great. So I can copy this, paste this into my Facebook, use this picture, and away we go. So again, this is something that I can look through, I can proofread, I can use this as a starting point. I can add more hashtags to this as I see fit. I could do a link to the specific class right here. I'll copy and paste that in. I could take this image of the cookies here. I could actually do like overlay graphics over it, let's just say. Maybe I can do the Midstate logo over it in some way, shape, or form, and that kind of stuff. So basically, this tool can be used to help me multitask a lot easier, faster. And then these random requests that I get throughout the day, because me and another individual now who I actually shared this AI software link with internally are the only ones that are actually managing this page for 4 campuses with X number of students 24/7, 7 days a week. So this is really something that can help us be more productive and get things done. So I would definitely encourage you all to do that as well. You could even say, a lot of times we have Memorial Day or things like that, holidays coming up. You can just say draft a Memorial Day 2023 Facebook post for a technical, let's just be more specific, Midstate Technical College. And so again, like these holidays come and go, we have a lot of things going on. Sometimes we just need something to auto generate or to generate for us and make it seem relevant to our audience. So here's another thing that's coming up as we approach Memorial Day 2023. We are at Midstate Technical College. Take a moment to honor and remember the brave men and women who made our ultimate sacrifice to our country. We are forever grateful for their service and sacrifice. On this day, let us also honor the families and loved ones for those who have fallen, and remember the sacrifices they've made. Let us remember the sacrifices for those who are currently serving in the military and the sacrifices of their families. Take this opportunity to remind you that our college will be closed on Memorial Day as a mark of respect for those who have served and sacrifice for our country. And actually, this is true. We are closed on Memorial Day. So this software is researching past posts from Midstate Technical College and making it actually relevant to us. We could even say, okay, that was good. Now make one that fits into Twitter, because of course Twitter has less characters that are allowed, and let's see what that does there. And then it's just going to shorten this up, honoring all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country this Memorial Day. We at Midstate Tech are forever grateful, remembering the fallen, currently serving, and their families. College closed in respect. Okay, so yeah, that's a Twitter brief version of that overall Facebook post. Okay, great. Make a LinkedIn version because we have a LinkedIn account, so let's do that. As we approach Memorial Day 2023, We are Mid-State Technical College would like to take a moment to honor and remember the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. We're forever grateful for service on this day. Okay, so it's very much a lot of the same. It just seems like it's a little bit longer. Oh, and it's interesting. It's inviting people to join in on the comments and things like that. So, you could, let's say, draft one for one platform, and then you could ask ChatGPT to create another version of what you drafted for one platform for the other platform. So everything matches. You don't have to rethink and then reduce down the amount of content and copy and things like that. Right? So let's just do a fun one. And then we'll find from our last assignment what ChatGPT does, how ChatGPT responds to that nasty email that comes in. Now, granted, it's not going to say, "Hey, let's do a meeting about this," but it could save you time for meeting with this individual, and create a to-do list out of it. All right, so here's that email we were talking about from last assignment. John, the brochure you worked on yesterday was all wrong. I talked to you about this, making this less clunky. I don't want to use gradient button with some random blue. I want to use clean red button for the email. Didn't we talk about this? All in exclamations and all that stuff, sort of stuff. So I'm going to copy this, paste this in, and then say, please respond kindly to this email. Oops. Okay. Can you please? Here is the email. Dear John, apologize for any confusion. And if you remember, I said don't worry about apologizing. But this is actually apologizing for us. Let's see, I understand that there were specific design elements that were discussed, and I apologize for not incorporating them as requested. I assure you that we will make the necessary changes and update the brochure with the clean red button for the email and remove the gradient button as well as any random color blue. I apologize for the delay and inconvenience that it caused. Regarding the approval, I apologize the brochure was not reviewed. So you could see that this will actually just shorten up the amount of time you have to expose yourself to a nasty email from somebody. Also craft it in a professional way, so you can simply just copy, insert your name and paste it, copy and paste and insert your name and send in on the way. And let's say now instead of going back to that original email and then looking at it again to create a to-do list, let's just say this, please a to-do list out of that email. Make necessary changes to the brochure as discussed with John. Remove gradient button. Replace that button. Review all future design changes with necessary parts before sending them out. Work with the team to ensure updated brochures return to John as soon as possible. Confirm the specific time frame that works for John and his team to do the best to meet the deadline. Respond to John's email and address his concerns. Blah blah blah. Follow up with John. Meet his expectation. Record all of communication with John to prevent any future confusion. So yeah, you have a to-do list here. You can just go boom, remove, replace, remove, review, make sure the team that you're working with or yourself can make the changes and confirm that, and then just send it off to him along with this email. So it makes it kind of nice and easy. You can just kind of cross that off your to-do list. So I would encourage you guys to use this. This is kind of something that's out there and it's free and it can make your life a lot easier. There was a couple of other things I used it for. For instance, one project I was working on, I had to remove the year. So we had a bunch of different events and it was like January 27th, 2023, January or February, 14th, 2023. There was like 8 or 9 different dates like that. And then so the instructions were to remove the year 2023 in those dates for those events and to add the day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I just went into ChatGPT and I said, give me the days of the week for the following dates. And then I just went copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, send. and then it gave me all the days of the week. And then I went to the design document and I just removed all of the year, it references to year, and I just did a copy paste for each of the days of the week rather than going through the calendar and learn and then figuring out an outlook here. I just had that do the repetitive stuff for me. And so there's a lot of repetitive things that you can have the software do for you. And you know, that's a tool out there that's going to save you a lot of brain power and lets you be more productive and things like that. So you can even ask it to do goofy things like write a 5-line poem on marketing. Marketing is art of the sell, to reach the hearts and minds so well, to paint a picture bright and true, to make a dream that's all for you. Marketing the key to success, make it shine, it's worth the stress. So this is an interesting little software. I definitely play around with that. It gives you actual examples as well of what you can do and ask it. So chat.openai.com. And so right now it's in a beginning stages of it. It's in version 3. I think they're going to have they're going to have unlimited versions, but version 3 is where it's at now, and it's very advanced. So there you have that. All right, so let's go into Blackboard here. As you can see, I highlighted the week 2 in blue. So as we jump into here, lecture and demo, I'm going to have that link. Once I take this recording and upload it to YouTube, I'm going to have that link up there for you. Let me make sure I'm covered. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about, this is the assignment here, lecture. So I'm going to talk, first I want to talk about meetings, because then the advertising lecture is going to come closer to the advertising assignment. So meetings have always been something that have been, I don't know, just kind of an issue for people. And in the past, you know, hosting meetings and meetings getting off on the rails and stuff like that. You know, a lot of times in marketing will go into meetings, and then other groups that they're meeting with will come up with a lot of different ideas about stuff, and let's do this, let's do that. And then marketing kind of gets stuck into doing what others do, as far as like coming up with ideas, and it's almost like a brainstorming instantaneously right then and there, rather than allowing marketing to kind of take everyone's input, go back to the drawing boards, come up with really effective ideas, come to another meeting and present ideas. A lot of times, you know, in companies, especially with internal marketing teams, you come into the meeting and then everyone generates a bunch of different ideas, and then the loudest person in the room will have the idea. So early on in my career, you know, that was always a thing, and there was been a lot of, and still is a lot of debate as to how to host a very effective meeting. And at my quad graphics position, there was a gentleman there that was a management degree. He was getting his PhD in management and business, and he hosted meetings in a certain way that I thought was really great. And so I sort of adopted his way of running meetings, and I actually added some more, a little bit more a process to it. And I drafted a meetings document. So this document that I drafted, I don't necessarily use it mid-state because we have like a different way of working, but in my past position, I've used it, and it was very effective. And there were so many people at that organization that said that meeting was really productive, and that was a great meeting. And you never hear that. You never hear that, but at this organization, I heard it all the time. And there I was a communications manager there. So I was managing the marketing communications for the about 4 or 5 different departments within the organization. It was a nonprofit organization. So you never hear that. I heard it, and this was the meeting process that I developed. And again, like I told you guys earlier about how you write emails to people internally and within your organization. This improves your personal brand, right? So your personal branding is a marketing piece too. As you move forward and present yourself as a professional marketer, your personal brand is very important. And if you are seen and experienced as someone who can run and manage very effective meetings, then that just improves your brand. You become more valuable to the organization. All that said, if you work for somebody that runs their meetings in more of a chaotic way or a way that is not as productive as you think your meetings can be, um, you have to follow the lead of that person that is ahead of you. Now, if the person ahead of you asks for suggestions on how to improve the meeting, that's where I would break out your meeting process, and that's what I've done in the past, and even currently, I'm not going to sort of say that this is how meetings should be done and so on and so forth. No, I'm going to wait until I am needed to come in to provide these solutions and ideas. That will put the need before my solution. So first you have to have a need, then you have to have a solution. I can't just come in there and if the chaotic meeting process is working for the organization, say, well, I have a solution, but you don't have the need apparently. Just because I think they need it doesn't mean that they think they need it. And in order for them to adopt my process, they need to feel like they need a new process, okay? And I need to be then asked to do something like that. That's just how I work. That's how I avoid any kind of power struggle within the organization. You have your best practices of doing things unless someone asks you for your advice, you don't give it. I'm not saying that you specifically, I'm saying that for me. So unless someone asks me for my advice, I'm not gonna give it. If they ask me for advice, then I will be happy to give them advice and show them how to do it. And then even then, a lot of times people ask me for my advice, I give it to them, and then sometimes they don't even take it after that. And it's like, well, okay, that's fine. But this is how it works for me, so I'm going to share this with you. And this is really good for marketing too. Like I'll say that again because marketing is a department within an organization, especially if it's internal, and most of them are internal now, unless it's a huge organization, unless it's a huge marketing organization that manages giant accounts like Tide or Porsche or stuff like that. Most of them are internal teams. In the marketing team, everyone leans on them. It's the sales people that lean on them. It's the foundation and alumni organization. It's the business development arm. It's the faculty in the different programs, like specifically here at Midstate, the business school, the ag school, the engineering school. So all of these different people have an interest, and so in order to serve all of these different entities, you have to have like an organized process. So here is the meeting process. I have a doc here. Let me see what this is. Yeah, okay, so this is just an outline of the process. Close these up. Here's an outline of the process. So the first step in the process is develop the agenda. So I'm going to open the agenda doc here. This is the next one down. For this document, I've actually taken this document here and I've actually just jumped into the background here and added like the logo of whatever organization I was working for at the time. So Midstate I would put here, or Society for Immunotherapy of Cancer, or you could design a letterhead for that and things like that here in Word and just place it into the background. But this is the guts of the whole thing, okay? So develop the agenda. I'm going to fill out the timestamps to fit in with the maximum allotted meeting time. Okay, so if we have a meeting time here, I have my list of participants, let's just say. If I have let's say, okay. So I have my list of participants. Let's say this is an hour meeting. Let's say the subject of this meeting is Blackboard updates and improvements. Actually, let's do something like let's do like an event. Let's do graduation 2023 fall. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll hit the date of the meeting. So let's just say this meeting is going to be next week. Okay, so let's say Monday, so, February 6th. Okay. We got our participants. We're filling out this agenda here. So first thing we're going to talk about is the video components. All right, so this is the first subject matter. So we're developing the agenda right now as far as the step one here. This is an hour-long meeting, let's just say, so we're going to call it 15 minutes. Individual responsible for running this thing, this aspect of it. I'll put myself there. So the agenda item, so the sub-agenda item beneath the video components for graduation is the one would be the pre-ceremony slideshow. That's a video component of graduation. Okay, and then the sub item of that is the content needed. Music needed. Graphics needed. So this is basically like me asking them, asking the group, okay, what kind of content do we need for this pre-ceremony slideshow? What kind of music and what kind of graphics? Let's say after ceremony slideshow will be another video component here. And then we'll just say all of this is the same. Okay. Another video component would be like promotional videos. Let's say establish number of videos required. Establish content for videos required. Getting kind of long. It's 15 minutes. Okay, we're kind of that should be okay. Video components. Let's say photography. Let's say 10 minutes. Let's say Jane Doe. So Jane Doe is interested in shots required of ceremony. And then those will be lists of shots required for the ceremony. Let's see, after ceremony, shots required. Social media, photography, process, workflow, process, and needs. So they'll talk about social media photography and what's needed there, and then how that process is going to be and who's responsible for all those things. So we're 25 minutes into this meeting, okay? Okay, now next part of the agenda, let's say, would be the seating. Actually, we'll say event details. And then that'll be the rest of the meeting. So it'll be seating needs, electrical needs, ceremony process. So what's happening here, what's happening there, when is this happening? Ceremony process and timeline. So when these things are happening, when the ceremony begins, when the first speaker, we'll say speakers, and a subcategory of that would be the student speaker. Alumni speaker, faculty speaker. Okay. Oh, we'll go back to photography here and then see um, graduate acceptance photos. So this is the photos that of the graduate actually getting the diploma from the president of the college on stage. What we want to do is figure out what positioning of photographer, positioning of president and student and equipment required. So like for instance, I'll take pictures of graduation and oops, oh gosh. I'll take pictures of graduation. Sometimes I'll need a stool or something like that. Okay. Just like way off, that's why. Okay. So sometimes you need a stool or something like that. Sometimes you might need a little lighting, etc. Which also reminds me, audio, visual, video details. Okay, I could just go on and on. So this is 35 minutes. And person responsible here. And that. So once you have all that set up here, this covers the entire hour here. We have it all figured out. So next, oh, what we'll want to also do is supporting documents. If there's any supporting documents here, so whoever is filling this thing out, let's just say video components. You write down the area of the agenda that these supporting documents are relevant for. So I'll put video components. And my supporting document might be component. Sorry, guys. Might be past video slides. So maybe I provide those past video slides so people can see what was done in the past. Another supporting document I could provide is YouTube video of past ceremony. And then I'll put the URL with that. Okay, and then I'll attach all those supporting documents or have those printed out at the meeting for this meeting. And then you can actually go on for those other categories too. So you could say under the events details area, the events detail, we might have the person that's responsible for that piece might want to bring the past ceremony itinerary. And then past ceremony layout map, so where all the chairs are and things like that, where the screens are, and stuff like that for the venue. Okay, and this could be a lot of different stuff, okay? And it just all depends, but it's good to have that documented there so people know what these additional supporting documents that are being provided at the meeting are for and what context they're in. Okay, so after that agenda is developed, what is this going to do? It's going to develop a sense of organization and respect for everyone else's time in the meeting. So we're all going to have respect for each other's time. So Andrew has 15 minutes to go over the video components. So everyone, it's already established, everyone's going to be listening and following what Andrew needs to do to get to feel comfortable with all the video components and the scope of that project that is needed for the graduation ceremony. Same with Jane Doe, it's going to be a 10-minute focus on that. The meeting's not going to go down a couple different rabbit holes, let's just say, to this, that, and the other thing, and then create a lot of confusion. Okay, it'll just stay on topic, and everyone's going to be aware of that topic, and that's how it's going to kind of stay organized and on track. Okay, so step 2 is book the meeting and distribute the agenda. So first thing is you book the meeting, you invite all the people that are in the agenda into the meeting. It could be probably a digital or a virtual meeting, whichever. Invite, and then when you send that, excuse me, agenda, you invite the attendees to add meeting topics to the meeting. Okay, so you provide that document. And well, you don't necessarily, you would provide the document, but you can also say, hey, if you want to add a topic to the meeting, add that topic, let them know that you want to add the topic, and then tell them to remove some time from another topic to fit within the maximum time of the meeting. Okay. So let's say someone wants to add something to a topic. We're just gonna, this meeting has been sent out at this point. And then someone wants to talk about social media. So they want to talk about it for 5 minutes. Who was that person's name? Same person. So 5 minutes. So Sam is going to then remove 5 minutes from one of these other topics to fit within the allotted time. So we have 15, 15, 30, and another 30 here is an hour. So Sam's going to want to talk about concept for social media engagement, brainstorming. So this is just going to be a brainstorming session for to increase social media engagement. So concept brainstorming for social media engagement increase. Okay, so this was distributed, and then this could have more people adding, of course, right? But this is just an example. So once that's done, you host the meeting. So during the meeting, you take notes during the meeting. If possible and okay with the group, have the notes up on the screen for all to see. So take notes directly on the agenda so that it's easier for people to break down the notes when they look later. Make sure to let everyone know that if time runs out on an item, you can either cut into the next item's time, or if okay with the agenda item owner, table the discussion to be continued for the next meeting, okay? So as we go through this meeting here, notes can be taken. What I used to do is put my notes in a highlight color, or I wouldn't use red because I would use like green or something like that, something friendly, like green. And then this would be like my notes here. So content needed. And as we're talking with the group, content needed for the pre-ceremony slideshow might be board of director slides. Say it's let's say it's social media following slides. So follow us on this, that, or the other thing, slides. What's this size? It's bothering me. Okay, we'll do 10. Maybe another one would be student highlight slides. So these are all things that the group is coming up together with as they're talking about this stuff. Okay, graphics needed. Let's say graphics that are needed might be something like join us at the bookstore for a discount ad. Take a photo with grit after the ceremony slide ad. Okay. And then so on and so forth. Promotional videos. Let's say the group talked about this and they established the number of videos for this would be 3 videos at 2 minutes long each. Okay. And then as the group is talking, video 1, content subject matter would be student success story. Video 2, secret at different mid-state events from this year. Video 3, healthcare simulation center promotional video. Okay. So yeah, this is great. And so everyone feels like, yes, we all, are seeing these notes crafted in real time. They can look back at these and things of that nature. It's great. This is a very organized way to get ideas from all the different parties that are needed into one document together. So this can be a great to-do list that's created from something like this. Okay. And then you can go on and on and on. Let's just say, like we talked about earlier in this step 3, make sure to let everyone know that time runs out on an item. You can either cut into the next item's time, if okay with the agenda item owner. So let's just say we actually, we talked way too much about video components, and then we talked too much about photography that we couldn't get to the social media part, okay? So what we'll do here in this document is say tabled for next meeting. And then in this document, let's just say, because clearly we missed this too. Let's copy and paste this. Table for next meeting. Okay, so these 2 things we didn't get to because we went over on these 2 things. Okay, so there's so much stuff to talk about and back and forth and things like that. Fine. So this gets saved. This gets saved. Save it. And this gets disseminated to everyone else. So it gets disseminated to everyone else that attended the meeting. Hi, everyone. Thank you for ChatGPT. ChatGPT, write a thank you email to everyone who had attended the meeting and to please be on the lookout for the next meeting coming up. Do that or just write it out yourself. Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to come to this meeting. Please see the attached notes from our meeting on Monday. I will be following up with a new meeting agenda with the new items that we can for the next meeting. So the next meeting, we'll say was what, February. So we'll say a week from February 6th to February 13th. So that's a Monday, February 13th. Okay, so let's just say we went over all this stuff. We don't need to talk about this stuff at the next meeting, right? So this will be deleted off the agenda. And then since this is table for the next meeting, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Video components, no. Event details we didn't cover, so we're going to have to keep those supporting documents in there. And then that's the next meeting agenda. Actually, I have to adjust these times to fit within the hour, so we have 30 minutes to talk about each of these items. Then this is resent to the group for Monday, February 13th. And again, hi everyone, here's the next meeting agenda. Please feel free to add any agenda items that you would like to discuss. And remember to remove some time from another agenda item when you add your agenda item so that all agenda items have enough time to be covered and fit into a 1-hour session. That's it. Also, when you send out, one thing I didn't talk about here, actually, during the disseminate notes after the meeting, send everyone the notes and ask them to contribute notes if they have anything that was not captured correctly. So always give everyone the opportunity that was in the meeting to actually add some of their own notes as well. Because they might be remembering something that you didn't, and things of that nature. So this, again, allows them to feel included, empowered to add notes. A lot of times for me in my past, there were like maybe certain people in the group that would actually add their own notes in there, but the majority, I would say 1 or 2 out of 12. The majority of the people would just be okay with the notes that were captured because they were there during the meeting too, so they could also help the note taker remember some of those things. Okay, that's that's the process that I've gone through to host meetings that I've been complimented on by people that had been in a lot of meetings. And so that was kind of something that I had taken from like I discussed, a former coworker in a past organization, and I tweaked it up to fit within a marketing scenario where multiple individuals are very, want to be very included into what marketing is actually doing, and then this empowers them to do that. Okay. All right. So you have all that stuff here. I actually have the meeting process steps example document next, which kind of shows you kind of an example of a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I do feel like if you just watch this video and look at what I just did as I ran through for you, that'll probably be much easier than you seeing these still documents. I will just run through these real quick though. So the first document here, step 1, you're going to see all the participants here, and the essential agenda here, supporting documents, is not filled out. Okay, next step, let me close these out. Next step, you're going to see basically the same thing as effectively, but you're going to see then supporting documents is filled out here. So this video graphics landing page promotion chat discussion here has landing page screenshots and video graphics, the stories included in the agenda. So again, this is the same date. It's just the same meeting, but we're going through step 2 of the process where people start inputting their own pieces into the agenda and adjusting times to fit those things in that they want to talk about in the meeting. Instead of just kind of bringing it up at the meeting, this is a very nice way to organize and give people the appropriate time and respect they need to get their points across. Step 3, this is the notes document. Okay, so in red here are the notes for each thing that was taken out of the meeting. And then things that were not included here in the meeting were tabled to next meeting. Okay, that was the video graphics part here as well. And the talk about the landing page design. And then step 4, again, is the next meeting where video graphics, landing page, and supplies for the event check-in were included here. So everything that was tabled from last meeting goes to then this next March 5th meeting. Okay, so that's kind of what you're seeing there in Blackboard. All right, let's talk about advertising. And let's talk about the structure of an ad. So you will see this first document called structure of an ad I have for you. This is a Word document. Let me go ahead and give it a 1-page view. Okay, so this is a screenshot. Since I'm, the social media guy here at Midstate, now I do a lot of the print stuff. A majority of our stuff is advertising and social media, and basically any kind of media, whether it be print or digital, the structure of an ad is going to essentially be the same across the board. First, you're going to have an attention grabber or an image in an ad. Every ad is going to have that. Next, every ad is going to have informative copy, okay, about a little bit of the details about what it is you're trying to sell to an audience, and you're going to have to inform them just a little bit, expand on what that attention grabber is. The next thing is a value and benefit statement. So what is the value that this product or item going to bring to me as a consumer if I decide to consume it? And then a call to action is, what does the ad want you as a consumer to do to take next steps? Okay. That's the essential pieces of the structure. Now, what I've done here is I've taken a screenshot of a Facebook ad that we've done in the past. And what I've done is actually kind of blocked it out with these little call outs here to show you what components here above align to what the ad is. So it's kind of like dissecting these sections of the ad to show you what each piece is. So the attention grabber or the image is right here. This includes a headline. So what we're saying is nursing, very large. When we talk about hierarchy, hierarchy is an artistic term to where something that might be big is at the top of the hierarchy, and then something that is small, like maybe legal copy or disability statements or things like that in an ad, are very small and then beneath, lower in the hierarchy. Because at the top of the hierarchy is your big message. It's sort of like the big umbrella. And in this case, it's nursing. All right, nursing. We want your brain to think nursing now. Then we want your brain to think top 10 ranked program. Okay, so that's like a tagline or a subhead. So your headline is nursing, your top 10 ranked program is like your subhead. So that's all part of the attention grabber in the image. Usually this is going to include the logo and then of course an image. Sometimes it's just a picture. Sometimes it's a graphic overlaid over a picture like what you see here, branded and things like that. So that's essentially what you're going to see first. So it's that got milk ad. It's just kind of whatever ads you see nowadays, there's all kinds of headlines and things in ads that you're going to see. So that's kind of all about that specific imagery that are used to grab your attention. Geico's Gecko. Gosh, I can't even think of the Fruit Loops bird, Tony the Tiger. These are all characters that are designed to grab your attention and things like that. And then you go next into the informative copy piece of it. So informative copy is to give you a little bit of a sense of what sort of you're talking about, to go into depth of nursing is a top 10 ranked program. Well, why is that important to you? Well, nurses exercise leadership skills on a daily basis, and no 2 days are alike. Each patient represents a new situation, a new problem to solve, or a new decision to make. Here's how our nursing program develops future leaders in healthcare and exceeds expectations. So this informative copy is supposed to give you a little bit more information about what our offer is to you as a consumer, why that's an important thing, why nursing is important in this instance, as a professional career field moving forward in the future, and why that's a good thing for you, and what to expect in your program. And it kind of serves as a lead-in to the value and benefits Midstate can provide to you as a future student in the program. So that's where the bulleted list comes in with the value and benefits statements. Okay, so value and benefits, 2 + 2 and 1 + 2 + 1 articulations with UWSP, meaning 2 years at Midstate and then 2 years at UWSP leads to a bachelor degree. Or this other articulations that we offer, articulations with 22 other colleges. So there's a lot of options for articulation agreements here. Now we have another major bullet here with this with the regular bullet, and we have sub bullets underneath denoted by dashes. This is sort of a trick to do in social media where you can't do like a super obvious like indent as sub bullet under a bullet on social media, just because of the limitations of the text fields and that capability. So what I do is I just do a dash and then a dash underneath, so it's kind of lighter, and then spaced a little bit deeper in, so there's an extra space, dash space, to kind of indent naturally indent any sub item. So this next major bullet in the hierarchy, right? So it's establishing a stepped kind of organizational process for us to chunk things out in. Simulation partnership with Aspirus, and then sub bullet is Midstate Healthcare Simulation Center, sub bullet hospital training rooms, exam rooms, central sterilization area, surgical suite, lab, nurses station, medication room, etc. So we kind of outline all of these different features in the overall highest level of hierarchy for the simulation partnership with Aspirus and Healthcare Simulation Center. Next, we have down here day and evening options for most clinical courses. So that's another value benefit that Midstate offers. This NCLEX-RN/PN 2019 pass rate of 100%. This is actually an older post, so that's why it's 2019. I believe every year we've had that same pass rate. So next is 12 full-time instructors on board, and then much more. And much more is like another bullet that I add in there, because a lot of times our internal people will have probably twice as many of these value and benefit statements as anyone will see in an ad, but you don't want to show all of that and everything. You might want to show that to certain audiences. You might want to show the simulation center to an audience that might be interested in more clinical aspects of nursing. You might want to show more of the research, some of the research value and benefits that Midstate provides to nurses if they want to be more on the research side. And so these bullets come from a much larger data set that could be broken and pieced apart to appeal to different audience members. So think about it that way, especially with digital, right? You could take this ad and you can restructure these bullets in a hierarchy of sense. The 2+2 articulation agreement with UWSP would be high on the list for someone who is at the student level that doesn't have a working knowledge in the field at this point just yet. But maybe this simulation partnership center with the healthcare simulation center bullet point would be higher on the importance list for someone that has a little bit of some industry experience and might have had some experience in the nursing field at some point in time. So you could actually take this ad, maybe change up a little bit of the picture, but mostly the bullets, and say, okay, this version of the ad is a student version, and then this other version of the ad with the bullets potentially changed and restructured could be for the more adult or industry professional learners. So you can take one ad literally, and it doesn't have to be right to one audience member. It could be redesigned to appeal to many audience members, maybe 2, 3, 4. Okay, so keeping that in mind too, all the bullets you see here are usually not all of the benefits that Midstate offers within the nursing program to a specific person, but it could be all of the benefits that Midstate offers to that specific person. So those people can be targeted that way. So if you were a nursing student and you saw this, you would maybe, as a student and as your profile being that such it is on Facebook in this case, you're seeing one ad, but someone who is also into nursing, but at a different point in the buyer cycle or a different point in their life or professional life, might be seeing the same ad, but it's saying something different that says something specifically to them that they would be interested in. So just keep that in mind. What you're seeing is not always, that's just could be one version of what's out there to be seen by Midstate. So, or any other brand for that matter, right? So, and then finally, a call to action is something always included in an ad. And in this case, it's learn more at mstc.edu/nursing. So call to action could be call us for more details, sign up for this course, learn more, register today. It's a call to action. It's telling you to do something. It's giving you an idea of how to take the next step. A lot of time in the general public, people don't know how to take the next step. They want to, but they need a little bit of guidance and a little bit of a push and a little bit of a, if you're interested, go do this, and then get one step closer. And then so learning more at mstc.edu/nursing will prompt these individuals to actually see that there are people that they can contact at the school, and they could fill out a contact form, or they could explore some of the career options available, or learn more about those articulations with 22 other colleges. The website's going to give them more information. The goal of an ad is not to give all the information, it's to give the high-level pieces of information to entice people to take that call to action. The call to action is the most important thing. You need the attention grabber to get them to read further. You need the informative copy to get them to see and realize that this is something that they're interested in. and you need the value and benefits to show them, okay, this is something that's going to benefit me. Not only am I interested in it, but I'm going to benefit in X, Y, Z ways. And then the call to action is designed to get them to take that next step or let them be aware of how they can take the next step in the ad. All right. Same thing here, except these bullets are a little bit, this is the same structure, what you're seeing here in this phlebotomy technician ad, but you're just seeing it in less bullets. The bullets are a little more detailed. It's a totally different program and things like that, but you can see that the structure is all the same. You have the attention grabber image. It doesn't say nursing, it says phlebotomy technician, but the structure is the same. The mechanics of this ad are the exact same. It's just now plugging in different content. So the phlebotomy instructors and the leads of those program gave us marketing these talking points to then be used in the ad. Yes, marketing did craft this text based on solid data that the phlebotomy technician team provided us, or maybe meetings that they had with us that they provided some of this content, but we are putting it together, creating a structure out of it to make it into a consumable ad for people on Facebook. A big high level benefit, complete a diploma in 16 weeks. That's a big one for the phlebotomy, future phlebotomy students. So we wanted to include that in the image here. And then here's one that kind of shows a little bit from a different organization. This actually helps play off of the informative copy and value and benefit statement being included in one paragraph. So this just kind of gives you an example of how you don't necessarily have to use bullet points all the time, but you can lump in the informative copy and value and benefits into like the same paragraph, for instance. Okay, and this is more Facebook post style. It doesn't overtly look like an ad, but this is more of an organic post that was sent at a Q Artist Gallery over there in Stevens Point. So this was something in a gallery that I was a part of that I helped them manage their social media platform. So they gave me a bunch of pictures. I used that as the attention grabber image. Again, it doesn't have a headline or a logo or anything like that. That's okay. We have a logo right here, and this is an organic social media post. So it's not meant to look like a paid ad. This is meant to look like just something organic, but it does the same thing. It has the same structure. It has an attention grabber image in the form of this photo gallery. It has informative copy and value and benefits and a call to action. Informative copy, values, and benefits. We include in here um, a sense of urgency is what we've created here, okay? So this was sent shortly before Valentine's Day, 1 week away. It says, don't forget, Valentine's Day is 1 week away from today, and we have some work for you that your special someone might love almost as much as you. Take a peek at some of the shots we captured for you and be the first to stop into the gallery this week before the perfect one-of-a-kind piece you love goes. Okay, so the value and benefit is that we have something that might be just perfect for that special someone in your life. And another piece of informative copy is that, hey, Valentine's Day is a week away. Some people might forget about that, like it's not at the top of everyone's mind. So this is something that might be of news to somebody that might stumble onto this ad. And so that's what makes it a little bit informative. That's also communicates that we have these things available for you, and it's of value to you to buy something so you can show that special someone in your life that you're like, thinking about them and stuff. And then the call to action then is kind of basically like want to shop from home. Now you can through our online store. So the first part says you can come on in, but the second part says, well, you can also shop online at our store. So that's kind of like designed as like a call to action there. It's not overtly saying, hey, like shop at our store, but it's saying you can shop through our store. So it's kind of like a little bit of a soft sell. It's not as hard as just like register today, learn more, and get started and apply, like how Midstate is, where it's overtly like, go do this. It's kind of very more authoritative. This one's a little more of a soft sell, okay? A soft call to action, if you will. And then I have another example of the same thing here. It's just kind of redesigned. This was during the pandemic as well. And so a big thing was the online shopping, and it was kind of new to the art gallery at the time because they were just kind of getting caught up in the whole thing. So in this case, we sort of show a value benefit in the call to action, let's just say, practice social distancing and shop from home through our online store. So it's kind of helps them out there. And then so on and so forth. So this is kind of another example of that. So that's all of the structure of an ad document that I have up there for you. And I just kind of wanted to walk that through with you. Another thing that's very helpful, and it's part of the assignment too, is I want you guys to include a, let me go ahead and do one page here. I wanted you guys to include an ad in the assignment. The assignment's going to prompt you to write 3 ads for social media. One is an entice, disarm, discover statement as an ad. So an entice, disarm, discover statement is very much basically like a structure of a sales statement. It's a structure. So first piece of the statement is that it entices the potential buyer to be interested. The disarm statement is designed to gain the trust of the prospective buyer by telling them to put their guard down because you're being completely honest with them and you're not just trying to tell them what they want to hear. The discover piece of the statement is that last part of the statement where you tell them, where you ask them if they're interested in the enticement that you're offering to them, that first part of the statement, to work with you to discover how you both, as the buyer and the seller, can discover a solution between the both of you to work together. So it's kind of this was a technique that we used at Quad Graphics where we were selling printer control systems to print companies. And so printer control system purchases are, $50,000 and above. A lot of times they're like $500,000 pieces of equipment. So you have to really gain the trust of someone. That type of sales technique is a lot different than you selling buy one get one free for gum to someone that's going through the grocery store. That's a lot quicker of a sales decision. The $30,000 to $500,000 piece of equipment to be installed on a press to increase your sales for the clients then that depend on you to print a quality product in the tens of hundreds of thousands. That buying cycle is a lot longer. The buying cycle, for instance, of choosing your education, right, or the school you're going to go to, there's so many things that you have to take into account when you are making that a level of decision. That's like a once or twice in a lifetime decision for a lot of people. That's even more of a that's more of a bigger decision than it is if you were to buy a car, because a lot of people buy like maybe 3 or 4 cars in their life. Okay, but when you choose an education, you usually are doing that like one time. You're going to one college, maybe 2. Okay, so that gives you a sense of the gravity of how much trust you have to build with the buyer. And so that's why this entice, disarm, discover statement has been created. So let me show you some examples of these here. So I have this document, entice, disarm, discover examples. Okay. So I go over this again in this document. What is an entice, disarm, discover? Entice the customer by identifying something that you have that might be of interest to them. Disarm, make it clear that you are not there to sell to them, but merely to see if there is a fit. And discover, trigger a discovery phase where you learn about them instead of a meeting talking about just your stuff. So an here's an example of an IT system company. Okay, so Entice. We work with clients. It's kind of like their sales pitch. We work with clients who are frustrated with their IT systems. Who are frustrated that their IT systems go down, which costs them hundreds of billable hours. They tell us they can't afford to continue facing that problem. For the right clients, we can help them rely on their systems to always be available, whether they are in the office or working remotely. Okay, that's the entice discussion. This is what we can do for you, right? This is what we can do, and that might be of interest to you. Disarm. But we find we can have a dramatic impact on less than half of the organizations we meet with about this issue. So this is not saying, notice, we can do this for everybody. This is saying we can have a dramatic impact on less than half of the organizations we meet with about this issue. Okay, so it's kind of like, we're not like telling you what you want to hear necessarily, but we're telling you what the reality of it is. You haven't bought this thing yet, so we're just trying to see if it's the right fit. If addressing, discover is if addressing those problems is important to you, we'd be happy to speak with you to learn more about your situation to see if we can help. Okay, so that's just the discover statement where it's like, if what we have done to entice you sounds good, we'd be happy to speak with you more. And then this is a trigger to start building a relationship, a working relationship with people. This is all about like relationships. This is not about like just saving you money right here and there, make that transaction and go like it's a piece of gum, or if it's maybe even a car at times. Although cars, there's a lot of relationship aspects that are required for car sale too, as far as the dependence of the brand, or how reputable the brand is. Are there a lot of dealerships for that brand in the area in which you live, and things of that, where if something goes wrong, you can, bring them in, etc. Those are also factors as well. Here's another one for a manufacturing company, and this is one we use at Quad Tech here. Entice. So our customers tell us that the Serpentine Tech color measurement system with DeltaCam can save an average of 10 to 15 minutes by eliminating the need to stop the press to measure color. That's the enticement. So 10 to 15 minutes to a printing press that's printing, hundreds of thousands of, McDonald's French fry containers, contributes to a lot of wasted time and money. The disarm statement is, we find we can help approximately 40% of customers based on their willingness to adopt new technology. So you're saying we can't do this right away. About 40% of our customers have been helped because they've been willing to adopt new technology. So they might have had to make some changes internally to reap this enticed benefit. That's the disarm statement. The discover statement says, if this sounds like something that could positively impact your business, we would love to learn about your situation. So after this discover statement is stated, if the person is still interested, that means that they are willing to adopt new technology into their process. They are one of those 40% in the disarm statement. And then that 10 to 15 minutes of the elimination of press stop time is very valuable to them. So that would be a qualified customer right there. They meet that criteria. So entice, disarm, discover. That's the gist of that. I wanted to let me go through this assignment though with you first, before I go into how I've used the entice, disarm, discover statement somewhat in an email, which was helpful. So, and I've used this in sales too, when I'm emailing people or new customers and things like that. I'll use the entice, disarm, discover statement, and it gets relationships really moving and built. So let's see, the advertising copy campaign assignment. I'm going to open this up. This is the assignment. Okay. So, all right. Oh, here we go. So I have this one set for Sunday, February 5 before midnight here. So the assignment is to develop a series of 4 social media posts that will be used to build attendance to the CHRM certification course. This is the certification course that usually HR teams, let me just see my lighting. Okay, good. That's usually what HR teams are certified with, this HRM certification. Okay, so the course that we're trying to build traffic to and build attendees for is called Commit to Investing in Yourself. Okay, so that's the course. The types of posts and ads should be as follows. So I'm asking for 3 traditional ads. Okay, so use the sample document shared on Blackboard as a guide located in Blackboard under the Learning Plan folder, week 2. Okay, so this is the folder structure, week 2, lecture content, advertising lecture, structure of an ad doc. So I'm leading you to this structure of an ad document so you can develop these posts. Let me just see. So if you go advertising lecture, structure of an ad, here's the document. This what we went over would be good reference, it would be the reference to use for those first 3 ads. Okay. So use that as a reference. Use the copy that creates a sense of urgency, for example, 1 week left, or hurry, seats are filling fast. Okay, so for instance, when you click on the link that's down here later on in this document under source content for the project, I have Midstate Web Event page. So this is the page of the event on our website. So this is the page of the event on our website, and this is details of the course. And it's going to tell you all the different benefits and who is going to be part of this course and things of that nature, who's going to be teaching it, what to expect. This is all like your content here that you can use to build out your ads. Okay, and a lot of times in marketing, that's kind of what we get. Like our internal customers get say, okay, let's build a web page. They work with a web content person to give them all the content they want on the web page. They work back and forth together to build that content, and then that is all put on the page. And then later on, the social media people will be informed, like, hey, the web page is up. We're ready to start promoting. And so I'll take this link and then start creating ads out of this content here. I'll read through this and then craft content for the ad. Okay, so that's the one link to get your content from. Let me just start closing some of these. Now here's the Facebook event. So the event is from 2021. So what I want you guys to do is, as you're crafting these ads, when you create a sense of urgency, I want you to work backwards from this date. So like for maybe that last ad, you say tomorrow, hurry, hurry up, tomorrow's the day, and then blah, 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 create the rest of your ad that way, okay? So creating a sense of urgency. So if you say one ad is going to go 3 weeks out, ad number 2 is going to go 2 weeks out. Ad number 1, entice, disarm, discover statement ad, which is one of them in the assignment, is going to go 1 week out. And then 1 day out is another traditional ad that creates the sense of urgency to say, hurry now, register now, things like that. That would be kind of what I'm looking for here, right? So let me go back to this document again. So that's where you get the details and the dates of the ad here. You're going to lead them to this Facebook page. You're going to lead them to register at this page, actually. This is just detail of the event, so you can grab the date and choose, but use that for your content too. You might get some interesting content out from that page too, but source content, that's what I'm meaning here by this stuff. So here's just some thoughts. Use attention grabbing copy. For example, want to take your HR career to the next level or give your resume a boost. So these are kind of like attention grabbing pieces of copy that are examples that I'd like for you to use. Again, read through the content on that landing page to see how innovative or creative you can come up with some of these attention grabbing pieces too. The more creative, the better. Think about the audience too. This audience is like a human resources type audience. So if they're interested in human resources, what kind of things could you say to those individuals to get them interested? Like you could say things like, the workplace is changing, and now is the time to upgrade your certifications to keep up. Something like that, think like put your put your feet in the shoes of your audience and then start speaking to yourself that way for these different ads. Use bullet points to highlight value benefits of the event, for example, hands-on experiences or SHRM certified instructors. So these are value and benefits here. Hands-on experiences, valuable to people. SHRM certified instructors, valuable to people. Those are people that are qualified and have a proven track record of consistency in their certification and being in the field. Next one is and then the fourth ad, one ad that uses the entice and disarm discover technique. So 3 traditional ads with all of these things that I talked about, and then 1 ad that uses the entice, disarm, discover technique. I'm leading you all to the entice, disarm, discover examples doc, so you can kind of get some more examples. But I have a couple examples here too, in context. So I'm asking you not to use these verbatim. I'm just asking you to use these as like an example to help you kind of think of how you can use the entice, disarm, discover statement in the context of marketing this course. So entice example 1, our course can give you the edge in a competitive market by preparing you for the SHRM exam. That's an enticing benefit. Disarm example, we find this is true for a majority of our students if they are willing to complete a 12-week commitment with a 3-hour class each week. So it's available, everyone can do it, but they have to actually do this in order to, so it's not like this is for everybody. No, this is for people that are willing to complete the commitment with a 3-hour class each week. It's not for everybody. That's the kind of discover statement there. It's saying that, but it's not saying that, okay? If that makes sense. It's saying that by virtue of it being specifically for people that are willing to make that sacrifice to get that result. And discover if you're ready to apply yourself to passing the SHRM, and that's not a typo, it says example. It should say exam, so excuse me there. If you are ready to apply yourself to passing the SHRM exam, reach out to learn more. Okay, so let me run through that whole thing again. Entice, disarm, discover. Our course can give you the edge in a competitive market by preparing you for the SHRM exam. We find this to be true for a majority of our students if they are willing to complete a 12-week commitment with a 3-hour class time each week. If you are ready to apply yourself to passing the SHRM exam, reach out to learn more. Okay, here's another example. Entice. Our course can increase your critical thinking skills as an HR professional. This can be achieved for many of our students if they meet specific educational and work experience criteria. If you are ready to take your critical thinking skills to the next level, reach out to learn more. Okay. So, and again, I'm reminding you here, and I kind of talked a little bit about this before, the post should be posted in increments out from the start date of the event. So kind of pick that start date. I believe it's February 23rd, but the Facebook the Facebook link has the exact date. And then work your way backwards from there. Where are you going to put those posts? Okay, and here's the deliverables for the project. Submit a Word document with your ads. There should be 4 ads with the following information: date of post, time of post, ad copy. And then so I'm giving you images here since this is not a visual design class. We do offer that class here mid-state, Adobe Visual Design, where they're going to teach Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. There's also a certificate that we have at Midstate that actually can give you training in those programs. It's called the Adobe Design. Let me just double check and see. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing here. There we go. Let's see. Is it Adobe Suite certificate? So there's a certificate too that we offer to teach you Adobe InDesign and Photoshop and things. So that's why I gave you these pre-built images, because this is not like a design class at all. So what I have here, and you'll see in these care areas, I'm going to have the date of post. So let's just say this one is February, I believe. Let's get the real time here. 23rd, okay, Tuesday, February 23rd. So just an example here I want to show you. February 22nd, 2021, time of post. We'll say this time of post will be like 9 a.m. It would be helpful if it was just like date, time, and then your add copy here. Add copy here. And then same for this, if you want to break these out like this so they're easier to digest, I do have these underlined rules, but you can see basically it's the same image, but just I'm sorry, the same kind of layout here, but just a different image swapped out here, okay, for each post. So you have 4 of them. So I want you to fill in this copy as best you can. Again, 2 traditional ones and 1 entice, disarm, discover ad. Okay. And so essentially, once all this is done, like eventually what's going to happen on the back end is the designer, they've already created this image for the ad. The copywriter has created, or the content writer or the copywriter has created the copy, the time, and the date in which this will be sent and posted. Sometimes, in my case, it's the same person. Sometimes in a bigger organization, it'll be different people. There'll be a person that is just focused on content and timing and copy, and then the other person is just focused on the art. And all day, day to night, they just do artwork for different ads and put those things together. I've served those different roles and at different times, and now I do all of those things at once. So it just depends on the industry you go into and the budgets that are out there and everything else. We know budgets are shrinking, so chances are a lot of people are going to be just doing multiple things at once. I.e., that's why I'm sharing Chat GPT with you, because to make it more possible for you to do more things and to stay ahead, these are some of the software and things you might have to start learning. So. And it's not really necessarily learning, it's just using it and using it in ways that make you more productive. Okay. So someone will just take that stuff and then, whoever that may be, it might be you, on Facebook, then they'll just go over here. Of course, this is a mid-state piece. Publishing tools is where you usually go. Hit the drafts folder, create the post. And then here is where you would just copy and paste. You would copy and paste the ad copy. Save this on my desktop so I can do a real world scenario here. Now, you don't have to go through all this process. All you guys have to do as far as that is to give me this Word document. It'd be nice if you could just erase all of this top part here. Make sure you give me your name in here. Just erase everything and just give me the ads. This is all I'm looking for. This is all I want, is the ads, the times, and then that's it. Okay, make sure to include like the all of the elements, like the call to action. You're going to want to make sure that you tell people to register, share the link of where they're going to register, things like that. Make sure that you kind of hold their hand and baby walk them all the way up until all the way to the registration point, in these ads. You want to baby walk them into it. Okay. So yeah, someone would just then copy and paste this ad copy here in this text box. Register at, I think this is certification. And then add the photo. They would just add the photo here. This is probably going to be the social media manager at some point. You're gonna see the ad preview here. And then what they'll do is go under schedule, and then they'll hit, the dates. And then this is why it's important for you guys to include the dates and the times, because that's what someone would need, including yourself, to schedule and send these off. A lot of times what you'll do in real life is basically write all this copy and then send it to a supervisor, who will then send it to other departments to okay or make corrections. And you guys will essentially just make all the corrections back and forth in this single document, back and forth until someone says, okay, it's approved and good to go. You're going to save this and then have this. So you're probably not going to be scheduling these the same day as you're designing the ad. So it's important to have the dates and times like recorded there somewhere. So when it's time to go and launch this thing, you're going to jump off of, let's say, your business card project or your website project that you're working on. You'll put that aside because you're at a stopping point, and then you're going to re-pick up this social media ad project, and then you're just going to go in here and then do schedule. Okay. So that's how it is. That's all I have for you. Please let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer those for you. And I will talk to you all soon.